Welcome, YouTube. This is Acid Roots, and I'm here to talk to you about the B.I.G.'s third album, Born Again. Now, this is actually not an album that he released or even worked on when he was alive. It's composed of unreleased verses and things from between like 1993 and 1996. So the whole thing about that, to me, is what do you have to expect from this project? Well, that is a big point because Puff Daddy was kind of in his prime around this time. 1999 was a pretty big year for him, but the absence of Mace went to religion, so the absence of like a large bad boy-esque rapper was clearly lacking. And, everyone missed B.I.G. Junior Mafia was nowhere to be found. Lil' Kim, not sure what she was up to. But, we just had some extra music, and it was time for B.I.G. Now, really, with this, the thing to remember is he is a sharp lyricist. He's definitely someone who I think a lot of people look forward to when they hear it. The words that he comes up with and the way that, to explain the way I look at his lyricism, the best part, or one of my favorite parts, is the fact that he can find words that are highly unlikely that anyone else could find with what he does. Like, when you rhyme the word seizure, like, what would you think to come up with after that? Well, in 1993 or the early 90s when he did it, coming up with amnesia after that, this is obviously, there's just not many people who had the same wavelength as him, I think. And it's not, obviously there's much more to that. The way he put the sentences together, the scenarios together, the storytelling together. There's a lot to applaud when it comes to B.I.G., but that's one thing to look to. It's difficult seeing as many rappers that can come up with that same area. But that's definitely, B.I.G. at what he does. So, with this, even the unreleased verses, I approve of. The main problem I have with this album is just the lagging production. It does not... it tries some different things, but it feels more like it was going back to just classic, boom bap New York rap, which is not, I wasn't backing that 100%, but I do appreciate what's going on. So the main thing to me is just wondering, the question raises what Big would have done in 1999 had he dropped that third album. And it's a mystery, but then I also look at it like, Life After Death is a mystery, because that had 20-something songs on it, but we only got to know the one song he was going to release to radio. So it's a mystery as far as what would have happened, but with this album, whether or not these beats would have been the direction, it's good for what it is, but the problem with it is just like I was saying, it being more New York, classic New York versus current as of 1999. So the songs that you need to hear, there's 7 that I really liked, 7 that you probably need to hear, and then there was an 8th one that I was on the fence about. So the 7 songs are Notorious B.I.G, Dead Wrong, Big Booty Hose, Would You Die For Me, Let Me Get Down, Who Shot Ya, Can I Get With Ya. Those are the 7, and then the song I was on the fence about is Biggie. So now I'm going to talk about a few of these. Big Booty Hose has one of the best beats on here. Can I Get With Ya is another one. I like the fact that Lil' Kim, Puff Daddy, Junior Mafia, all these folks that were around him when he was alive, they're actually on here and contribute. So Would You Die For Me has Lil' Kim on here. I think she shows up a few times. These are some good moments. Notorious B.I.G. has that New York feel to it. Who Shot Ya's a great one from Ready to Die. Biggie just features Junior Mafia. That one's kind of dark, but it's a shining cut on here. I do like that one. So I'm just trying to think of the rest of them. Yeah, Let Me Get Down was kind of one that I wasn't expecting. Obviously, compared to some of these more underground rappers like Busta Rhymes was definitely one of those. And trying to think of a couple other ones. Busta Rhymes, Yellow Wolf, these sorts of cats. What B.I.G. would have thought of underground rap. Because he was definitely, if you pay attention to him in 95, he was the face of rap, just about. He was one of, and it would have been interesting to see some of that as well. But yeah, so that's extra stuff. So 8 out of 16. I'm gonna give this album a 5.5 out of 10, and the main reason is just like I said, the lacking production, and maybe the face of it was trying to be something different than what probably we needed. And obviously the verses are good, but it would have been interesting to know who else Big was going to collaborate with if we could have seen some of that. But the people who are on the song, they don't detract from the music, so you don't have to worry about someone you don't like dropping the song or something. The songs are good regardless. So the only other thing is the social score. 2 singles were released, and they acquired decent attention, so I will give it like a 6 social. This just means how well it'll play around your friends when you're with them and you listen to the music. So can this record be topped? It can, but this is kind of sly. I like this cut. I wasn't expecting to listen to this album really, because I didn't used to like posthumous records, but I am mistaken and kind of proud that that's the case. So the only other thing to say is the future. Well, there's not really one. There is a second After Death album, but we'll see if we get to that. So subscribe for more fun.